All right. It's December 17th, 2020. Up here in the comic book sorting room in the fifth floor of the Grottu Orloff building in Grottuville, North Carolina. It's Groundhog Day. Those of you that watch these videos regularly know that each video is almost a clone of the last one. So what I'm going to do is start going through some of these boxes here. And Pete the cat is going to be here helping us today. Pete the cat here. He's a little disinterested right now. He's staring out into the void outside. But I thought, these are the type of videos I like to watch. When other people do it and they just sort through boxes they haven't been through in years and they're not really sure what's in them, and they pull things out and talk about them. I love watching that kind of thing. And the Classic Comic Collector on YouTube just did that last night, or at least last night I was watching his latest video, and he just pulled out a box that he wasn't really quite sure what was in it, and that was a lot of fun. So I'm going to be doing the same thing this morning here. Going to go out and stock up on groceries a little bit later with the wife. A little bit of chatter online that the United States could be going into martial law and before Christmas, and who knows, with the premise that a foreign power interfered with our election and that the person who is in theory president-elect is actually an agent of that foreign power, and that who knows, will it happen? We don't know. But I'm going to stock up anyway. Alright, so let's go through this box. I just pulled this box in from the comic book room, and this was on the bottom, so I haven't been through this in quite a while, and it looks like this was originally this is comics in the F and G alphabetically. So what I really want to do is go this. Originally, I organized all of my comic books alphabetically, regardless of manufacturer, era, and then I had, as I've told you multiple times before, I had this idea. I want to put everything from about 1971 back in separate boxes so that I can flip through those boxes and be immersed in a whole another era. Oh, I'm watching birds flying into the neighbor's attic across the, I don't have this window open very often because sunlight is kind of, unfortunately, the enemy of everything we collect. So I tend to be close everything up like I'm in a sepulcher or something. All right, well, let me get you in a better spot for this. Let's see. Oh, man. Okay, pull the cord over a little bit. I just got out of the shower, so my hair is wet. But I didn't do any video yesterday because I had to go to the ophthalmologist, and apparently what's going on with my eyes is that first this eye in June, and then this eye just a few weeks ago, about a month ago. The something intravenous gel or something, intravenous gel or something of the eye just becomes detached from the back, and he says it's no big deal, happens to everyone, either 50s, 60s, 70s, and I'm 55, and it doesn't mean you're going blind, it doesn't affect your vision. What happens is that when that happens, you tend to get, I guess it causes little tiny blood droplets to get in there, and so you see these floaters, and on my right eye I see this kind of, I have to kind of like it kind of moves around, right? Like a little dark ghost, and I don't really notice it all the time, but and then now in my left eye I've got one, so I've got two little ghosts that dance around. So I need to give them names and just pretend I have two friendly ghosts. Maybe the one on my right eye could be Casper, and that one can be Spooky, but they're not white. They're, well, you know what a floater's like. It's kind of like, you accidentally you're driving, and you accidentally look at the sun for a millisecond, and then I don't know. It's called. He told me that's not worth. He says it's not worth worrying about. It happens to everyone, but then so does death. So I don't know. That made me feel much better. This court. God damn you all to hell. Okay. Wake up a bit. Listening to Alex Jones here, but you're not supposed to mention his name on YouTube, so I better not do that. People put his radio show up on YouTube, I'm noticing, later in the evening, because he's not allowed to post on YouTube. And they're putting now Andy Griffith show, and then they put, like if it was today's date, they put December 17th, and then they put like 1967 instead of 2020 to try to fool the AI bots or whatever. So I've been noticing that. And sometimes Andy Griffith, and sometimes Gomer Pyle, which is actually more, well, both of them are kind of, well, Gomer Pyle's a spinoff. But, oh well, you know what. You don't care about that. You're here to see comic books. Well, the first thing I pull out are Silver Age comics. So these need to be put into the Silver Age. So this is a box that hasn't been messed with, where I'm pulling out the Silver Age and putting it into separate boxes and keeping these all. Then I don't have a box. Then I'll have the other boxes that are Bronze Age up to today. But I don't buy many comics today, although I watched the comic Crypt of Castle Hills yesterday, or about half of it. I haven't finished it, but I was just kind of sick how many great comics. It was a comic book day thing, and he went around in San Antonio and picked up all the new comics, and a lot of them look really good. At least the covers do, and I keep hearing the Immortal Hulk is amazing. I've never read it. I keep hearing Chad Miller, one of my regular viewers, keeps telling me you've got to pick up The Amazing Spider-Man. It's really good, but only don't pick up the point. Like they have, let's say, issue 7 and issue 8, and then they have like 7.5 in between 7 and 8. He says don't get the point numbers. I don't know. I haven't done that yet either, and I keep hearing that all these companies are just really pushing the liberal social justice warrior agenda in their comics, and I don't really necessarily want to support that, but and the other thing is the price is so much. I mean, I need to buy boards, and I'm soon going to need bags. Luckily, I've got some My Lights coming in the mail from a contest I won at the Christmas party of Night Tiger Comics, but we're tight on money right now, and then I hear the stimulus payment that Nancy Pelosi has been holding up for months and months because she didn't want Trump to look good. She didn't want Trump to be able to send a letter to everyone, hey, here's a check coming for me. So she held it up until after the election, and now I'm hearing that instead of getting $1,200 stimulus checks, this isn't confirmed, I just heard some lady ranting on YouTube earlier this morning, that they're going to be $600 checks. So, oh well, I shouldn't complain. We're not doing as bad as a lot of people. We're not risking eviction or anything. I mean, we pretty much, house is paid for, and I'm living on my retirement now. But when I retired, it cut my paycheck by almost half. So whatever. Typical politics. The Flash, this is a great Grodd cover. This is issue 172. The one I just showed you, and I have been, is I've been told I need to hold these up in front of the camera longer, is 156. So I need to linger. Okay, so these go in a separate pile. You know, I remember this comic. I didn't buy many of them. I heard it was great. It was this teenage girl who was deaf, and I didn't buy many of them, but in fact, I bought precisely one. I mean, the artwork is really good, and I just didn't know really where to start with it, and actually, but I do have this promotional thing, and I wonder if this has value. It's just a little freebie that you get at the cashier in a comic store, but it's just a few pages long. But I wonder, maybe this has some value. I'm not looking to sell things. I'm just curious, because I was thinking about promotional material and what value it, because I save everything. I've got all these comic shop news, the little freebie newspapers. I don't know if they still make them or not. Okay, more Silver Age Flash. Oh, that one's not even. Okay, still more. Huh. There sure were a lot of covers where the Flash died. Okay. Okay, cool. Here, the Flash is having the hell beaten out of him by hippies. Issue 185. It seems like in this era, late 60s, the superheroes were either getting beaten or they were being buried. They were having their funerals, and it seems like almost every cover. Oh. Yeah, you ever notice that? I guess they were symbols of authority. And having said that, here's Flash 186, and they're finding Flash dead. Poor Flash. And then there's, see, this is actually proving my theory very well. Here's another. Look what's happened to the Flash now. Well, it's only a suit. This one's not bagged or boarded. Oh, this stack of comics is blocking some of the light. Kind of have an eclipse going here. Oh, I did something that I was talking about yesterday. No, 2 days ago. This Yogi Bear comic from 1961. On the back, it has a little envelope like glued to it. And that's how, I guess, Dell sent subscription copies out. And so this morning I was just curious, you know, I want to see the house that this comic book used to live in. So I looked up that address in Irving, Texas, and it was a beautiful house. I mean, you go to like Zillow, and if a house is off the market, if it's been sold recently, they'll still have all the pictures of the interior of the house. And so this house, oh, shit. Hold on. Okay, excellent. The cat was walking. In order for her to get past, she would have to walk on top of stacks of comic books, and I didn't want his claws to dig into the comics, so that's why I was having that existential crisis. Anyway, so I looked up this address, just Google it, and someone's like redone the interior, but it's a very open concept, and it was actually 1961, so when they had just moved into a brand new house that smelled of new paint in 1961 when this kid got this in the mail. It was brand new. Although the house still looks brand new because they've redone the inside of it. And it probably looked a lot cooler before they redid it because people tend to update and make things look of today. And I like the old look. So sometimes people have to buy old houses, and then they call it backdating. They have to make they have to put things back the way they were to keep it cool. But anyway, flash. I was gonna show. Did I show you? No, I didn't. I readjusted the light. So kind of cool looking alien there. Anyway, so the doctor told me I don't have to go back to him, that my eyes are fine. I'm just going to probably see these floaters, and it's not anything to worry about. And the nurse, who was younger than me, said she's got a floater in one eye, but it's right in the dead center. But, you know, it annoys me, but I guess I don't accept the fact that I'm getting old. And then I watch my videos, and I say, damn, I look like Dr. Phibes, which is kind of cool in a way, but... well. As long as my wife likes me, I don't really, if I, not really needing to be that vain about myself. And, oh, this ad here is just really cool. It's, the typical soldier ad, but it's, damn, I should bring the camera over to see better. I've got to watch this. I have this tendency to cover the camera, so I have to be aware the camera is there. And I'm still learning how to master these Chinese iPhones. But what did you hear? What they came out yesterday? It turned out that Jeff Zuckerberg of Facebook gave like $500 million to finance the all the problems that in the election. They don't like you to use the F word on YouTube, because it's to his advantage to get Trump out, because Trump is going after the tech giants and his monopoly and all that crap. So that came out yesterday. Flash 199. Oh, Flash dead. So it's like the heroes could not win in the late 60s. They were either dying, they were suffering, or in this case, they've just, pulled a Travis Bickle. The 200th issue, and you have your hero on the cover doing this kind of thing. It's a beautiful cover, isn't it? Oh, but it's open, so we can look at it, shall we? And of course, this is the more typical ad you'd see for all the little tiny figures that were usually... The Civil War ones weren't flat, like two-dimensional. They were this big, like in scale practically, if you know about model railroading. Well, see that little guy there in the center? The Cleveland Indians aren't going to... They're changing their name because of all the political correctness happening now, and then I think the Atlanta Braves are thinking about it. Weird times. I always like that little grinning Indian. I've got a little bolo tie with a little silver, that little Indian guy with the big grin. I thought he was cool, but I don't know. Is it offensive? I guess it might be to some people. But some people look around their whole lives looking for things to upset them and to offend them, and then they'll dye their hair weird colors and do weird things so that people stare at them. It's like, why are these people staring at me? Although no one really notices that dyed hair anymore. But this I'm trying to see. Oh, this nun is praying for a miracle, and all of a sudden the Flash is just brought there. He has no idea why he's been brought there, and it's because God has brought him there. And this is the first Flash cover I think I've shown you where he's actually being treated like a hero and not a dead corpse. Or I'm not knocking all that era. I love it all. But this, you might say, but Grottu, this is Bronze Age, and I tell you in every video, like I said, it's just like Groundhog Day. When DC went up to 25 cents, that was the last gasp of the Silver Age for DC. And then when they went to 20 cents, that's just where 20 cent and up goes in my Bronze Age. And through whatever other ages have happened since then, Copper Age. What age are we in now? The Shit Age? I don't know. What were the 90s called? Does that have a name? Was that the embossed cover age? I don't know. Okay, so I'm looking at bronze. Oh, there's a couple of 2, 3, 4 Silver Age. Look at this, beautiful. It's got a spine split a little bit. Flash Gordon King features comics. Al Williamson art. Al Williamson, one of the great EC artists, but he was doing comics up until, he did the adaptation for Marvel of The Empire Strikes Back, and then the Flash Gordon 1980 Sam Jones, Dino De Laurentiis movie. He did that adaptation too. I think that was from Marvel, or maybe it was for Gold Key. But any time that Al Williamson drew, he never turned out anything less than great. So this is a Flash Gordon from, I'm betting 1967. Let's see if I'm right. May 1967. I mean, I need to learn more about the comics of today. It just, I can't afford them. They're like $4 or $5 a piece, and then I don't know what to do about that. Cell Plasma, Flash Gordon from Charlton. Now, artwork's not bad, but it's not Al Williamson, and even Charlton, with their usually lackluster art, is going to pay some reverence to Flash Gordon, because anyone working in the comic book industry realizes that everything started with Flash Gordon. Comic book wise, Superman, all the original superheroes go to Flash Gordon as far as in the comic field. But Flash Gordon has ancestors back to and to pulp fiction with Edgar Rice Burroughs, because John Carter, Warlord of Mars, was where all of the space opera stuff comes from. Whenever you've got ray guns and you've got swords also, that all is from the John Carter novels. And anyway, just got to know the evolution of things. And here, this is another King, and this is also Al Williamson. That glare, I wonder if I could position. See, this is the layout I got here. I got this, got two poodles here, and I'm putting the camera right here to stand it up. But I think if I position one poodle just right, it might eclipse the glare I'm getting on these comics. Let me try this out, because I guess I want. Oh, I'm also getting the glare from having the window open and it being a sunny day. That sucks. I just wanted to get some natural light here. I don't think that's going to work. Anyway, this is what this one looks like. Issue number, I don't know, because King wasn't good about putting that on the cover, and I don't really want to take it out of the My Light right now. All of these I've got to get boards for, which is next on my agenda when I get a hold of a little money. This is another King Flash Gordon. Another soldier ad, Revolutionary War soldiers. Just one of those things that you always see. So they've got your Flash Gordon. They also have Secret Agent X9 in the back. But let's see. Oh, this is cool. This record here came out from Leo, which was the children's wing of MGM. And it had Buster Crabbe actually coming back as an older guy, I'm sure, in the 60s. He's probably in his 60s or about my age, and he came back and did the voice of Flash Gordon for this record. And it's a very hard to find record. I found it after looking for decades, but now on YouTube you can just listen to this with just a few clicks. This is kind of an adorable ad. Hey kids, fun to make. Yeah, it says, as far as the Flash Gordon ad, here are the live action tales of Flash Gordon and the Mole Machine and the decoys of Ming the Merciless. Just $1.89. That was a lot of money back then. It was. When you think of how many comic books you could buy in the 60s for $1.89. But it's a cool record. Easy to find, I think. I'm pretty sure it's still up on YouTube. You can get also the Leo record that has the Flash, Green Lantern, and Aquaman. And they have, there's a Shadow one, Green Hornet one. They have 2 Batman records that are, and these are well done. These are not like Power Records later in the 70s. The acting is good. There's a Superman one. There's a Prince Valiant one. I'm not sure if the Prince Valiant one is on YouTube, but it could be. Oh, cool stuff I'm finding here. I'll show you what I found. Okay, so here's some Forever People comics. Gosh, hold on a second, guys. Okay. And then another Forever People. And this is where Kirby, put a photograph in the background, which is really cool. He started doing that at Marvel in the Fantastic Four. Put these over here. Oh man, haven't had breakfast yet. Dreaming of breakfast. I've got Civil War music playing because I like martial music, but I just thought that might create the wrong impression, because in this politically correct times, if I've got like Confederate music playing in the background, I'm like, oh, Grottu, he's a bad man. But I've got Union and Confederate music. It's just fascinating to me to hear the music that people listened to in the 1860s. But you have to apologize nowadays for being interested in history, because history is bad. How did they say it in the 1984 novel? Knowledge is ignorance, or ignorance is I forget how they phrased it, but in a communist society, it's a good thing to be stupid. Here's all my Monster Frankenstein comics. Ooh, and then, okay, I gotta pull these. Okay. Alright. So, as I told you before, and I'm assuming you guys watch all my videos, which is a very strange assumption for me to make, because I doubt. I look and see, like, I think more than more than half, because they show you the statistics on YouTube, more than half of the people that watch are subscribed, but there's still like 40, almost 50% of the people that watch aren't subscribed. I wish if you like my videos, if you subscribe, that'd be great. I'm now back up to 125. I went up to 129, and then it just keeps scooting back and forth. Anyway, Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers. I think somebody's doing an animated version of this. But anyway, I'm putting this is an underground comic, you know, because I'm going to do a separate, I have a separate box I'm going to put my underground comics in, just because, okay, that music I guess I can play. Okay, so, Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers. I got a lot of these. I enjoyed this comic. I don't believe in the activities that they engage in. It's just I love the artwork and I love the humor. I mean, they're constantly smoking pot, which I do not believe in. But it's just, you know, like watching a Cheech and Chong movie. You don't have to be a stoner to enjoy it. Although I'm sure it really helps. But, you know, Gilbert Shelton was, he's local. Well, he's a Texas artist from Austin. And he also did Wonder Warthog. And also art in some of the old Hot Rod magazines in the 60s. The comic magazines, you know, there was cartoons and drag tunes and cycle tunes, and some of those, you know, like cartoons, I don't even think mycomicshop.com has an entry for that. It's kind of, I thought that was odd. It's just, I love his style of art. But he was aiming to a certain market in head shops, and that's what that was. Okay, so this is a Gold Key Freedom Agent. Kind of a food of the gods kind of issue. And Gold Key in that era took the painting and actually gave you a chance to have the full art, which if you went to a color copier, a self-serve copier in a FedExpress or Kinko's, whatever, you could blow this up to 11 by 17 size and then frame it, or any of these paintings. If you ask them to do it, they'll say, oh no, this is copyright. So even if it's not really copyright, if they see that symbol, they've been trained, you'll lose your job if you make copies. So yeah, don't ask them to do it. Plus you don't want them handling your comics. Here's Fox and the Crow. Weird mystery stories. Yeah, I just love the artwork in these. You can watch some Fox and the Crow cartoons on YouTube. I mean, just about everything's on YouTube. So, and this is the Go-Go Check era. Fox and the Crow. I love humor. I mean, it's just good stuff. It really is. Funny animal. There's a Bullwinkle ad for Cheerios. Artwork's just outstanding. Oh, it's Stanley and his monster. First appeared in Fox and the Crow before. I don't think this is the first appearance of Stanley and the Monster. It says, plus that new left, right? I wonder if it is. Fox and the Crow, 98. I'll look and see if it is. Apparently Stanley and his Monster has been revamped for the new generation, where the monster is actually like some hideous demon, and it's done like a horror type comic. I probably should turn this music down just a little bit. Hold on. This is the lady that invented the cell phone, basically, Hedy Lamarr, a beautiful movie actress. This is a wax figure of her that I've had since the mid-90s. For a year I worked in Longview, Texas. That was one of the only highlights of that horrible year, that I found that in an antique store. They had all these wax figures that had been in a wax museum that closed, and I got her. And they also had well, what else did they have? They had a lot of religious figures. They had they had Jesus like suffering, and I think a lot of different stages of the crucifixion. And they had Jackie Kennedy and Caroline and John Kennedy Jr. They were, but they, in mourning, but they were all busted up. They looked like they'd been beaten. Yeah, there were a lot. This was the best one, and I got her. I paid off over time. It wasn't that much, but it seemed like a lot at the time. I don't know what I paid for it. This is cool. Future comic to go on my wall when I get a wall. Lots of ads for these little play set figures. Different time, before video games, kids actually touched the objects that they played with. Now, Fortnite, all you do is touch. I don't think you even have joysticks anymore, do you? How do they play that? I guess, who the hell knows? I was showing you in a recent episode that Dell tried to make superheroes out of Dracula, and then they also tried to do it out of Frankenstein. And Frankenstein is a superhero. And the problem is, as you can see, this artwork is not very good. And it's my nemesis, my archenemy, the artist Tony Tallarico. One of the worst artists. I don't know. You could tell me other artists that are worse. Down below. And while you're putting the comments down below, you can smash that like button and like that smash button and subscribe and ring that bell and punch those balls and whatever to make Grottu more famous. Because 125 subscribers, ha! Everyone laughs at that. I've got to get more and become more famous so I can take over the world. Yeah, right. Okay, some more interesting stuff I'm coming up with. Well, Atlas Comics, we were talking about that, I think, in the last episode, how they were around just to imitate Marvel, look at this. Of course, Marvel has Tomb of Dracula, so they come up with Son of Dracula. So, what are you going to do about it, Marvel? It's not like Dracula is copywritten. I mean, it's been 100 years since that novel came out. Almost 100 years at that point. It was in the 70s, mid-70s. So they did Son of Dracula. This is an Atlas comic. I don't see people showing that often. Oh, well. It's actually called Fright. I guess if you looked it up on mycomicshop.com, it's Fright, starring the Son of Dracula. And of course, Marvel had Fear, so they have Fright. Well, I'll put that here. Okay. This is another example where they use a photo, kind of like Kirby pioneered, but these are actually Bronze Age, so they need to go back in the box. I'm pulling out the Silver Age. I'm pulling these out for no particular reason. Yeah, I love that Monster of Frankenstein comic. I got like a whole set here. Alright, so interesting. Wow, we're finding cool stuff today. Stuff I'd forgotten about. For a while, Marvel had these comics with this Max title there, where they were like really grisly and bloody and horrible. I was wondering what the fuck they were up to. They had one where it was a Punisher story where you, the reader, were inside the mouth of the bad guy, and he was tied up, and the Punisher was like torturing him and pulling his teeth out one by one, and you were inside the mouth watching the Punisher punish him. You know, it's like comics intended for some pretty gone sickos. Okay. Oh, excellent. Oh, wow. Oh, man. Wow, there's cool stuff. I didn't know I had this shit. Oh, wow. Oh, this is going to be a good episode. Wow, I didn't know I had all these. What the fuck? Oh, look at this. I bought this at 7-Eleven in 1972. What condition would this be in? I kept this pretty nicely. Pretty nice. And then, okay. Oh, wow. Oh, cool. I finally got some cool comics to show you. Here's Ghost number 2. I think I have Ghost number 1, but I don't see it here. So maybe that means I don't have Ghost number 1, but this one, this is the first one I bought as a kid, Ghost number 7. This is my childhood copy. Okay. This is another comic I've had since I was a kid. And since it's 15 cents, I'm going to count it as Silver Age, so I'm going to pull it over here. Ooh, cool. Oh, wow, cool. Look at this GI Combat number 110. Also Silver Age. Okay. All right. These old bags need to go. All right, what do we got here? I like Gilbert Hernandez. But this is American history comic, but not. It's actually very fascinating. They go through the whole Revolutionary War, but I'm pretty sure this is an underground comic. I mean, it's not going to be as offensive as like an R. Crumb comic, but I'm going to put this in a special pile. And this kind of shit, you know, I wonder how I own this. Oh, I think this guy is probably a contender for worst artist. I don't know. I mean, this doesn't look that bad there, although I don't know why I own this comic, and I may have gotten it free. I mean, this era of shit where everything looked like this in the 90s, that's what kind of killed me, like wanting to buy new comics, you know. Yeah, it's just like, it looks like this, and then it's not like a, yeah, this Rob Liefeld, I mean, there's a famous Captain America cover where he draws these weird necks and the chest comes out like Dolly Parton on Captain America. I don't know what this even is. Maybe it has some value to someone, but, you know, that's the kind of thing, yeah, someone could actually convince me to sell. But most I mean, I would never sell anything. I say that, but then I see something like that, and it's like, God damn, get this away from me. There's the Godzilla Marvel comic. Everybody's got that, I guess. Oh, that's cool. Okay, then I'm moving to Green Lantern. Oh, cool. Here's Green Lantern number 23, where he fights Popeye. I mean, literally. Oh, goddamn. Shit. You're not hearing anything. Goddamn. Yep. I turn that down, because I don't want to get a copyright strike or something like that. Alright. Okay, we got some comics to look at here. So let's get this. You can still hear it. And I've got it too far away to reach. I'll keep this going so you can't hear the copywritten music. Okay. I think that obscured the offensive content. Okay. This is really cool. I got it at a hardware store. A block away from me. They just had these little Archie McPhee kind of things at the checkout counter. Okay, here's a Charlton Go-Go. Isn't that cool? It even has the Man from U.N.C.L.E. and Ringo Starr. Not a very flattering picture of Ringo Starr there. I just love this Go-Go girl there. I love not just comic books, but I love rock and roll and the music of that era. So that's like that bridges both worlds. Oh, here's another copy of that Glory that I was just talking about. Actually, it doesn't look as bad, but it's just still this kind of shit, you know. I guess people like it that grew up in that era, but to me, it's an alien thing. It just doesn't look like a comic book to me. But I just showed you the first Ghost Rider, but here is an earlier Ghost Rider. I think now they call him Knight Rider, so they don't confuse you. Here's the Aurora model kits. But I'm trying to remember, was this at the time new, or was this a reprint of stuff? I think it was new, but I could be wrong, because they reprinted a lot of Western stuff. Here's Ghost Rider 4. And they have costumed bad guys. Ghost Rider 7. Yeah. Ghost Manor 13. And I like that girl host. Special 13th issue. Yeah. What did I just see? Yeah, how many kids ordered that? $10. Seriously? Yeah. What? That always, I always get shocked whenever I see that ad, and it's like, what am I looking at? Oh, Ghost Manor. I thought I was looking at some other kind of magazine. Another Ghost Manor. I like that. Spaceman Strength and Endurance. Damn, I gotta get some comic supplies. Gotta get some boards. Oh, here's one that I was like, yeah, look at this. It's Ghostly Weird Stories number 123. See, when I get my future house. Okay, so here's the plan. This house, we could probably sell it. According to Zillow and the online estimates, this house could be 260, 270,000, and still owe about 23,000 home equity loan on it. So that you'd have to subtract that, and the fact that you have to replace the carpet or wood flooring throughout the whole house. You'd have to do painting and whatever else needs to be done. You'd have to subtract that. Let's say we clear 220,000 from the sale of the house, and then I move to some other state where I can get a house. This has about 2,500 square feet. I see houses that have 4,000 square feet that have history and probably ghosts in them, built before the Civil War, and they have guest houses and stuff, and they're you can get them for under 200,000 or 210,000, or I've seen some even less, 160,000. If we were to buy a house like that, then we'd have thousands left. If we could put 50,000 or 40,000 in the bank, then times like this wouldn't seem as scary, although it is pretty scary what's going on in the news if you're paying attention. And then, and the other thing that's killing us is the property tax here, paying like over. And you may laugh at this because I know some people in Los Angeles are paying $12,000 a year property tax, but it seems pretty high when it goes over $4,000 a year, especially when I'm now retired. And I wasn't making that much as a teacher before, and now my paycheck's cut kind of in half. But some of these giant houses, the property tax is $800 a year, or something like that, because you're out in a smaller community and they don't need the funds from you to build giant stadiums to worship the Dallas Cowboys or to redo the whole downtown because they stupidly tore most of the old buildings down in the 60s. Now they're having to build new buildings that look old to give it a historical feeling. It's stupid shit. Anyway, there's a chance that I could be not like, how am I going to buy new boards? Because which only cost $6-7 to buy it, but I just don't have any extra money to spend on anything right now. So that's why part of the fun of going through these old comics is I can read these or reread them, and I have to worry about going out and spending money. Well, this is an old hero from the 1930s and 40s, from the pulp era, G8 and his battle aces that came back and didn't last very long in the comic. God damn, that's a great painting. This would definitely be worth making a blowing up and framing. This is a great comic book company. Anything from that company, ACG, they put out Herbie and just great stuff. Classic Comic Collector on YouTube was showing one hero called Magic Man that, and he was talking about that. That was really, really cool. He did a video a few days ago about that. This is Harvey attempting to do a superhero, but it's a silly superhero. Fruit Man. I mean, what? Oh, they've also got these heroes. Super Hippie. And what does that other one say? Captain Flower. Okay, Fruit Man, Super Hippie, and Captain Flower are the heroes in this Super Hippie. I mean, this is just great stuff. It's the same people, it's the same people that did the bunny comic for. Oh, this is priceless. I gotta show you this. I'm gonna reposition. The previous owner of this comic, they had like a Mad Lib style thing. So I don't know if you can see it. I assume this is a he. Um, this way. It's hard to tell exactly what I'm pointing the camera at. Yeah, it's kind of a Mad Lib style thing, and he filled it out. It's a super fruit quiz. So you can see he filled it out with these words. I wonder if you order this comic like this from mycomicshop.com, if they'll tell you about this damage. The fruit that sounds supreme is butt fruit. All girls should like naked in berries. Have you ever seen Percy in a fruit dick? If you have guessed all the answers to this quiz, your Fruit Man reading was very fucky-full. You put in the word fucky. I've never... Fucky. Did you ever try to sleep on an asshole cot? Perry is the fuckberry that breaks the camel's back. Oh my god. Oh, he even puts in some racist words. Oh, that's not good. The hardest fruit in the world is a tit granite. Oh, this Fruit Man, this copy of Fruit Man was owned by a real card. Oh, this is super hippie. Let's get the splash page. Super hippie. What number is this? Oh, this is number 1. I wonder if there was more than one issue, because if there is another copy of this, if it went to issue 2, I definitely would want to seek that out. That was amusing. What are the most amusing things you found in an old comic, I'm wondering? Oh, look at this. It's Green Lantern number, purple cover. Can't ever read them on purple covers. Once you get past 50, this is, goddamn, what does that say? I think that says Ford. Damn, it's hard to read. I think it's number 40. But is it just me? See the number there? It's hard to read black on purple. But yeah, Green Lantern. Oh, I'm supposed to show it longer than 2 seconds. I've been requested by viewers. I have some, sometimes you look through your comics, you realize, hey, I've got some pretty good stuff. I figure I'm a lightweight as far as comic collecting goes, because I see everybody else has got all these Golden Age comics and EC comics and shit. I just always bought what I liked, but also what I could afford, and I couldn't really afford that much. I'll say it again, like I said, like in this era, all the superheroes are always suffering or dying on the covers. Dry up and die. Gee, what have you got against superheroes? Ooh, this is a classic cover, but it's trashed and the spine split, and this is in really poor condition. Yeah, how about that? Okay. Then a bunch of 70s Green Lantern. What else will I find in this box? Grim Ghost, that was Atlas Comics. Okay. Ooh, this is an older comic. Oh, wonderful cover. G.I. Joe, not the G.I. Joe of the little tiny. This was printed before G.I. Joe was even one of the the original G.I. Joe from the 60s that came out in 64, 65, the doll, later known as an action figure. This is from the 50s. G.I. Joe was just an expression, meaning, because so many guys were named Joe, it was just, you're a generic guy, you know, just another guy, G.I. Joe. That's where that came from. And then, but yeah, I don't own any of those 80s G.I. Joe. When they brought G.I. Joe back, first of all, G.I. Joe, all these parents complained, you're selling war to our children, so they made G.I. Joe kind of a action adventure, going out and seeking mummies from pyramids kind of guy. And then after a while they stopped making G.I. Joe, mainly because there was an oil shortage. And they were cutting off the oil supply from the Middle East, and you need that to make plastic, and so it became too expensive to make the G.I. Joes. So when they brought them back, there were these tiny little figures, the same size as the Star Wars figures, and so that's people that grew up in the 80s are all into that, and the cool little things, the little vehicles and everything, and then the Marvel comic and the cartoon, which was not bad. It was a pretty good cartoon. I watched it a few times, thought this is surprisingly good. And I remember they got around the fact that they had guns. Oh, they all shot laser bolts instead of bullets. So I'm like, that's okay. I mean, it's going to kill you either way. It just somehow, because it's fantasy, because they're shooting laser guns, it's not as offensive, I suppose. Okay, so I pulled some Silver Age and Golden Age out of that box and separated it from the taint of the... Although the Bronze Age is great. It's just, okay. Oh, wait. Oh, those are the Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers. I'm starting to pull too many things out, and I need to get somewhere to put this stuff. All right, we're at an hour and 2 minutes. I gotta do the Not Brand X show, man. But those are down at the bottom. But I'm gonna do that. Let me post this episode, and then I'll come back. I'll eat breakfast. I'll come back because I made a promise to show off the Not Brand X line. And I don't know how many. There is probably a few people out there somewhere in the world that are collecting Not Brand X that want to see them, and I'll show them. But it was one of my favorite. It probably is one of the greatest things, honestly, I've ever seen. Not Brand X. As great as my discovery of wacky packages in 3rd grade. Not Brand X and the art of Bernie Severin and Jack Kirby making fun of his own art. I mean, there's just nothing like it. So, let me start. Gosh dang it. I'm turning this room into another shit pile. Let me close these drapes. Okay. Goddamn. Well, Rudolph says, yes, you should subscribe to the Grottu Orloff channel. Okay. Damn, Malagutu malasanta pulosa tautuata. Everything's so horrible, I'm starting to speak in tongues. Alright. Well, fascinating. Well, another fascinating episode of the Grottu Orloff program has come to a close. Be seeing you.